because I used to interview folks on Late Fear, but those interviews were like, it was a weird format for an interview. It was like 5-6 minutes long in front of a live audience where we're trying to have a conversation, but also be entertaining in real time.
There's a mix of like an interview / stand-up improv.
Exactly. Yeah. We're having a conversation, but we need to find the game in this conversation in order to keep people listening and laughing. Because otherwise, if we just talk and the audience doesn't laugh, then why did I talk to you? It's a weird way to connect to people. So this is like my first time actually doing long form interviews, and I'm really prefer it, and I'm really trying to get a lot better at it.
Yeah, there's something very nice about doing something like an interview, or even just talking freely without the context and the pressure of it needing to be funny.
Right.
But it's allowed to be funny.
Right.
And it's very different, because then the humor becomes a lot more natural. And there's people that aren't like on the edge of their seats, like waiting for it, like, make me laugh,
right.
bitch. You know, and that's always
like I just watched stand up. I just watched all these sketches, and now you're sitting down with somebody. Like what happens now? What happens now? It's like, now we talk. Now we talk in front of you.
Yeah, yeah. I enjoyed Late Fear the few times I got to participate.
My favorite moments on the show, a lot of them are with you.
Really?
Yes. No, I don't watch the show at all, really. Like, the show's been done for years and I don't watch it. But like last month, I just watched the clip where it was me, you, and Reed Clark doing the Shook Ones challenge.
Yes, I love that moment too. That's one of my favorite ones.
And I loved you. We did a thing with our friend Jack Nelson where we like created this character of the blogger who's criticizing Late Fear, and we presented it like it was a real thing for weeks, just leading up to an episode storyline where, the reveal is the blogger is a character played by Jack. He's criticizing the show. There's no one actually criticizing the show. And you came on the next time we had Jack as a guest and played yourself, just angry with Jack for being Citizen Bane and attacking him on the stage.
I barely remember that. I would love to see that clip.
You tackled him on the stage and wrestled with him.
Yeah, I remember being involved, but I cannot at all remember the details, like the tackling. No recollection.
No,
of
it was y'all wrestled on stage. But yeah, no, that was like when I think of like favorite times on the show, that's definitely one of them. Just you coming out and being like, you insulted my friend Maxwell, and just throwing yourself out.
Yes. Yeah. And I remember too, I don't know if it was that one. I feel like it was another one where like I was supposed to be involved in some way, but my girlfriend was in the car drunk as fuck, like sitting in front of the Ballast Hotel. It was like she didn't want to come in. She didn't want to stay in the car. And every time I'd walk away from it, she'd like hit something on the door to make the alarm go off. I was like, what the fuck? And after like the third time going to check on her, she'd thrown up on like the floor of the car. I was like, God damn it. And I kept coming, Wills, I'm so sorry, but I'm like dealing with a crisis right now. Like, I'm dealing with a show.
Yeah, right.
Like, I'm here to do it, but I'm sorry I keep walking out.
It's fun because like the whole show idea was like, it was, real talk show, but like scripted format of like, fake behind the scenes drama on the show. But the real behind the scenes drama was actually a lot more entertaining. Like just you having to go back and forth and figure that out, and all the other real things that were going wrong in real time.
Yeah. Like my phone just went off just now. I always like leave the, it happens almost every podcast because before the guest comes over, I take my phone off vibrate so that when you send me the text of I'm here, I don't miss it.
Right.
But then I forget to put it back on vibrate before starting the podcast. Anyway, I got it back on vibrate now.
Got you. The young woman in the story, she's alive, right? That's not a story about how somebody died because you had to do Late Fear.
She's alive.
Okay.
Yes.
Good. Okay. Yeah. Cool.
We still get in arguments sometimes.
Okay.
So what ultimately led to you? I mean, I vaguely remember your reasoning behind it, but you ultimately got to a point where you didn't want to do Late Fear anymore.
Right.
Talk about that for a little bit.
Well, when we started the show, it was it was like me and like, I was frequently collaborating with the guests like yourself, and I was collaborating with like a team of like comics and writers who were like coming up with episode storylines and sketches and all these things, and it's a thing we were all doing together, and it was very fun. And then the show kind of kept evolving as people got busy. Like some writers left, some writers came on. We eventually moved to Theater Now, which was awesome, and we did shows there for a year. But the last maybe 6 months of the show, 6-7 months, I noticed that I didn't really have a team anymore. It was I'm planning the show by myself. I'm writing the monologue by myself. I'm interviewing people, preparing questions. I still had, Jonathan Schwartz there, who was awesome. Like, Jonathan Schwartz came back as a co-host, and that was a lot of fun, like riffing with him on stage. D&D Sluggers came on as the house band, and that was awesome. So every time I got on stage, I was in between Tim and Jonathan, and I felt great on stage doing the show. It was like my favorite hour. But everything leading up to the show was miserable for me. Like all of the booking, video editing, social media promoting, all of it I was doing by myself was stressing me out and making me unhappy. And then I would do the show, and I would be elated. Andrew Bunting would be there recording, and I'd hang out with Andrew and Jonathan and Tim, and the show would be so much fun. But like after a while, the balance of me being miserable for 2 weeks leading up to like this total hour of like fun wasn't worth it anymore. It was to a point where I made a decision to cancel it kind of on a whim, and I haven't really regretted it, because it was just a thing where I noticed like I don't enjoy Late Fear anymore. Like I had a day,
it became more stressful than it was fun. Yeah, that makes sense.
It was like a Monday. I woke up and I was like, crap, I've got Late Fear this week, which is not a thought I ever wanted to have.
Right.
So it was like, once I noticed, like I thought, oh, I'm dreading the show I created that no one's making me do.
Yes. Yeah.
No one's forcing me to do it. It's like, okay, it's time to end it. And I think I announced the end of the show like that week, and we stuck to it. So I miss the show. I miss parts of it. I haven't missed it enough to be like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have canceled it. I absolutely feel like that was the right call for that moment.